Hi, and welcome to MFC Online. In today's lesson, we'll be learning about the first timeline of human beings. So last year, we talked about the fundamental needs of human beings, and human beings have 6 different fundamental needs. The first one, tools or defense, food, clothing, transportation, communication, and lastly, but certainly not least, housing or shelter. So on our timeline today, we are going to take a look at the lifetime of early human beings and how they met those fundamental needs. We'll start right here at the beginning. As you can see, right under my food and tools cards, at the beginning of the timeline, we have this icicle here, representing a very, very cold time in our history, an ice age. And we can see after that human beings were actually able to survive in this freezing cold weather. Here we see a human being eating some meat. So obviously they were able to meet their fundamental need for food by catching different animals and eating the parts of the animal. In fact, way early on, human beings actually ate their meat raw. Can you imagine if you had to eat a leg of chicken or a cut of pork or beef raw? That's what they had to do back then because they didn't have the technology we had today. We can also see that they were able to meet their fundamental needs here for tools by using simple rocks. What types of things might they have done with those rocks? Maybe carved things? Maybe stacked them together to make a wall? Who knows? Maybe have drawn pictures in the sand or the dirt? We don't know because we don't have any history books from that time, but we can only imagine that they would use these rocks for different types of tools. Moving on, we can see as we go past our timeline, there were even more ice ages, and still the human beings were able to survive. Once again, we can see them not only using rocks here, but also learning how to use sticks and rocks. We can see that they were making tools and they actually started to cut down trees. What could they have used trees for? Could they have built a shelter? Could they have met their fundamental need for housing using these rocks and these sticks and these trees? Maybe so. We can also see, moving all the way up here, once again, human beings able to kill and hunt animals for food, and even cutting into the animal's body. Eating the meat, but maybe even using the fur of the animal for something else. What could they have used the fur of an animal for? Knowing all the way back here that these guys had to survive an ice age, what could they have used it for? Maybe they were meeting their fundamental need of clothing. Moving forward, once again, we can see that human beings continue to find different ways to use rocks to make tools. And if we look down here, we can even see they're starting to sharpen some of those stones. What could they have used those sharp stones for? Could they have used it all the way back here to cut open an animal? They might have. They could skin the animal for clothing, and they could cut up the meat to eat it. Now, as I said before, we know that human beings would eat that meat raw until, moving on in history, we can see all the way over here using these sticks to make fire. That's exactly right. Finally, human beings had learned how to make fire, a huge invention, one that allowed them to cook their meat so it was a lot more delicious. And behind them, we can only guess what a big rock cave would have helped do, right? Meeting that need for shelter, giving them protection from those ice age, from the rain, from the cold. We can also see, for the first time, clothing. Those animal skins covering them up to keep them warm. Now, all the way up and down this timeline for many, many thousands of years, right? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. My mistake. For all those hundreds of thousands of years, we can see human beings using these different tools, learning how to make fire, hunting animals, using their fur for clothing, using these rock caves as shelter. But over time, human beings learned even more. They went from one person to 2 people, to to finally having whole villages, communities, working together, making sure that each human being had a different job. One to carry in the wood, one to cook the meat, and others even to protect them from danger, from animals that might hunt them, right? So these inventions of fire and of tools, these communities came together, and after time, life for people, these early first human beings, became a lot easier as they worked together as a community. And time continued to go on. Another ice age happened, and still human beings survived because of these tools, because of this clothing, because of their community. We will have another lesson on another timeline about human beings during another video. And we will be covering all the things that happened right at the end of this timeline and even beyond. That's it for this lesson. I can't wait to see you in the next one. So see you next time. Bye.